We all have habits that we know are destroying our lives. Maybe it's scrolling social media for hours, eating junk food, procrastinating, negative thinking, or something else. We promise ourselves we'll change, but somehow, we keep going back to the same destructive patterns. If you've ever wondered why breaking bad habits feels impossible, and how some people seem to transform their lives completely, then this story will give you the answer. Listen carefully, because this could be the turning point you've been waiting for. In a small town in Colorado, lived a teenager named Tyler. He was 17 years old and completely addicted to video games. Every day after school, instead of doing homework or spending time with family, Tyler would lock himself in his room and play for hours. His grades were terrible, he had no real friends, and his relationship with his parents was falling apart. Tyler's mother, Linda, was a nurse who worked long shifts at the local hospital. His father, Dave, was a mechanic who owned a small auto repair shop. Both parents worked hard to provide for their family, but they were heartbroken watching their son waste his potential. "Tyler, you're throwing your life away," his father would say. "You're smart. You could do anything you want, but you're choosing to live in a fantasy world." But Tyler couldn't stop. Every time he tried to quit gaming, he would last maybe a day or two before going back. The virtual world felt more real to him than actual life. In games, he was a hero, a leader, someone important. In real life, he felt like a failure. Tyler's addiction got so bad that he started skipping school. He would lie to his parents, telling them he was sick just so he could stay home and play games. His grades dropped so low that his counselor called a meeting with his parents. "Tyler is in danger of not graduating," Mrs. Rodriguez, the school counselor, told his parents. "He's missing too many classes, and his grades are failing in every subject except computer science." That night, Tyler's parents sat him down for a serious conversation. His mother had tears in her eyes. "Tyler, we don't know what to do anymore. We've tried taking away your computer. We've tried punishment. We've tried rewards. Nothing works. We're losing you." Tyler felt terrible seeing his parents so upset, but he still couldn't understand why everyone was making such a big deal. "It's just gaming, Mom. It's not like I'm doing drugs or getting arrested." His father looked at him seriously. "Son, addiction is addiction. Whether it's drugs, alcohol, or video games, it's stealing your life away from you." That weekend, Tyler's father decided to take him on a camping trip to the Rocky Mountains. "We're going to spend some time together, just the two of us, with no computers, no phones, no distractions." Tyler protested, but his father insisted. They drove 2 hours into the mountains and set up camp near a beautiful lake. Tyler was miserable. All he could think about was the game he was missing, the online tournament he wouldn't be able to participate in. On the second night, as they sat by the campfire, Tyler's father began to tell him a story. "Tyler, I want to share something with you that my grandfather told me when I was about your age. He was a wise old man who had lived through the Great Depression and World War II. Tyler rolled his eyes, but decided to listen, since there was nothing else to do. "My grandfather told me that inside every person, there are two wolves constantly fighting each other. One wolf represents all the good things: discipline, hard work, kindness, courage, honesty, and love. The other wolf represents all the destructive things: laziness, selfishness, anger, jealousy, dishonesty, and addiction." Tyler looked up, slightly more interested. "These two wolves are always at war inside us," his father continued. "Every day, every hour, every moment, we're feeding one of these wolves with our choices, our thoughts, and our actions." "So which wolf wins?" Tyler asked. His father looked directly into his eyes. "The one you feed." Tyler stared into the fire, thinking about what his father had said. "What do you mean?" "Son, every time you choose to play games instead of doing homework, you're feeding the lazy wolf. Every time you lie to us about being sick, you're feeding the dishonest wolf. Every time you isolate yourself, instead of building real relationships, you're feeding the selfish wolf. Tyler felt uncomfortable because he knew his father was right. But here's the thing, his father continued. You also have the good wolf inside you. I've seen it. Remember when you spent weeks learning programming to help your cousin build a website for his small business? That was you feeding the helpful wolf. Remember when you stayed up all night to fix our neighbor's computer for free? That was you feeding the generous wolf. Tyler remembered those moments. They were some of the few times recently when he had felt genuinely proud of himself. The problem isn't that you're a bad person, Tyler. The problem is that you've been feeding the wrong wolf for so long that it's become stronger. But wolves don't live forever. If you stop feeding the destructive wolf and start feeding the good one, things will change. That night, Tyler lay in his sleeping bag, looking up at the stars. For the first time in months, his mind wasn't thinking about games. He was thinking about who he wanted to become. "Dad," Tyler said quietly, "how do I start feeding the right wolf?" His father smiled in the darkness. "One choice at a time, son. Tomorrow morning, instead of thinking about what you're missing, think about what you're gaining. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can do." When they returned home, Tyler made a decision. He didn't throw away his computer or promise to never play games again. Instead, he made a simple rule. He would only play games after he had completed all his homework and spent at least 1 hour doing something productive. The first week was incredibly difficult. The gaming wolf was strong and kept demanding attention. Tyler would sit at his desk trying to do homework, but his mind would constantly drift to his games. He felt anxious, restless, and irritated. But every time he successfully chose homework over games, he felt a small sense of victory. He was feeding the disciplined wolf. Tyler also started helping his father at the auto shop on weekends. At first, he was just cleaning tools and organizing parts, but gradually his father taught him more skills. Tyler discovered he was good with his hands and enjoyed the satisfaction of fixing things. After a month, something interesting happened. Tyler found that he didn't crave games as intensely as before. He still enjoyed playing, but it no longer controlled his thoughts. He had more energy. His grades began improving, and his relationship with his parents got better. By the end of the school year, Tyler had not only caught up with his studies, but was accepted into a technical college program for computer engineering. He still played games occasionally, but now it was a choice, not an addiction. Years later, Tyler became a successful software developer. He often told his own children about the two wolves, helping them understand that every person has the power to choose which version of themselves they want to feed and strengthen. The truth is, we all have two wolves inside us. One represents our highest potential, the person we could become if we made good choices consistently. The other represents our lowest tendencies, the person we become when we give in to instant gratification and destructive habits. Every habit you have, good or bad, is the result of which wolf you've been feeding. If you want to break bad habits, don't focus on fighting them directly. Instead, focus on feeding the good wolf. Replace destructive activities with constructive ones. Replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Replace isolation with connection. The wolf you feed is the wolf that wins. So ask yourself, which wolf have you been feeding? And more importantly, which wolf do you want to feed today? If this story inspired you to start feeding your good wolf, give it a like and share what positive habit you want to build in the comments. Remember, transformation happens one choice at a time.